Hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to my channel, Light of Shaya. My channel is all about illuminating the spiritual path forward and delivering uplifting messages of love and light. So this message here today is going to be pretty much for whoever needs it. I was kind of feeling guided to do this, and I think I'm going to be doing this probably from now on, just to kind of get an idea of what's going on for these messages that need to come out. There's definitely like a message that needs to come out, and I just have been feeling very guided to doing this. So once again, welcome. I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards here for some guidance for you guys. The deck that I'm using at the moment is the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck. I'll be pulling from the Spirit Animal deck, and I also have the Isis Oracle deck that I'll look into a little bit later. And then the message and the tarot cards will come out through the Thoth deck. So what messages do we have here for our viewers, Spirit? What is the message here? Okay. So the message here is crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. Okay. So there may be something that you may be holding on to. And then we have at the bottom of the deck, breaking trail, a breakthrough is at hand. So this could be a moment of clarity that you're going to be experiencing, and if you haven't experienced it yet, you will be experiencing it soon. So definitely healing is being prioritized right now. Spirit is really trying to guide you. This crossing bridges card is really just giving me the impression that Spirit is trying to align things for you. This could be people that you'll be meeting. This could be this moment, this breakthrough moment, maybe regarding to something that you were dealing with in the past. This could be a person, a situation. The person could be a romantic interest. It could be a family member or a friend. Somebody here that there seems to be definitely a need for connecting and mending perhaps a situation. And then we do have releasing at the end there. So Spirit is really guiding you to release this. We'll see a little bit more about what this release is about. So what do these spirit animals have for us here? So we have Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. Bottom of the deck here, we have Wasp Spirit, sometimes life stinks. So this could have been a very painful occurrence, whatever this was. But Squirrel Spirit is really trying to guide you towards believing in yourself. And then we have Porcupine Spirit, time for beginner mind, most definitely. So I'm getting Fool energy and the world energy here just by looking at these cards. There's a brand new beginning for you. And excuse my lovebird in the background if you can hear him. He's a little bit extra sometimes. He hears me talking and he's like, oh, you're talking to me. So Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. So there could be a need to release and heal some past hurts, because they seem to be perhaps impeding you from believing in yourself and pulling forward, pushing forward. And then with Porcupine Spirit here, it says time for beginner mind. So this is very much a journey, of course. And I'm trying to see what the numbers on these are. This is 3 and this is 3. Oh wow, both of these cards add up to 12. So 1212, you might want to look into that angel number. There may be a message there for you. But this is also the number when reduced 33. And then interestingly enough, I have 3 cards. So we have kind of like the 3 of Pentacles feel here, aligning mind, body, spirit. There may be a need for you to heal a previous situation in order for you to collaborate with this person. Once again, this could be a friend, a family member, or it could be some sort of love interest. It could be a partner that you have. Perhaps you guys had a falling out. But Spirit is really inclining you to have a beginner's mindset. So let's go ahead and get started here with the tarot, and then I'll pull from the Isis Oracle deck a little bit later on. But let's see what the overarching message is here. Okay, so we have Change, the 2 of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Nine of Discs. We have the Princess of Wands at the bottom. Okay, Judgment or Adjustment in this deck. And then Princess. And then this here is kind of what I'm feeling. The Aeon or the universe. Or the world, excuse me, right? No, excuse me, that's Judgment in this deck. But it really does definitely have like kind of like a world feel. I want to go ahead and take a look at this card, but this definitely what I'm getting. There's a higher calling, most definitely. There seems to be a higher calling here, and Spirit is trying to line things for you in order for you to pursue this. The Two of Pentacles here talks of balance, and we can see that very well with the infinity symbol of the serpent, which also the serpent represents healing. So it's likely that you could be healing the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself and coming into union with self. And this is what believing in yourself is all about. Interestingly enough, yesterday we had the message of healing the divine masculine coming from the Isis Oracle deck. So it's likely that this is a continuation of this process. This may be the same people that I'm reading for. We have the Knight of Swords here, so swift action being taken. The knights in this deck are the kings as well. This could be an air sign like a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius in your life that you may have had some sort of falling out with. You may be an air sign. We do have the Nine of Discs here as well, which speaks of, in this deck, it's represented by the word gain, but usually the Nine of Discs or the Nine of Pentacles speaks of working on the self and building yourself, working on your own abundance and really building the self-confidence that you need. Interestingly enough, I was guided towards lighting the solar plexus candle earlier before I started this reading, because I was definitely getting that feel of like self-worth, self-confidence, building on the self. We have the Princess of Wands here. So the Princess of Wands is the Page of Wands. The Princess of Wands speaks of this could be a message being delivered. This could be a brand new passionate beginning in something. This could be a creative idea or an idea that incites passion. And interestingly enough, if you look at this here, we have Adjustment or the Justice card. In this deck, it's called Adjustment, and it's the number 8. But it's kind of sitting in the middle of these two things, and I'm kind of seeing like the balance between the masculine and feminine again, because here we have the Princess and of Wands and the Princess of Swords, and these are the masculine elements being represented in feminine form. This could be a moment of clarity. This could be something that incites passions. This could be a blending of both. For some of you, Adjustment could be speaking of some sort of a legal battle. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case. This could be the signing of contracts. This could be a work contract. This could be something dealing with paperwork. But that's only going to be for a few of you, because the way I'm reading this, you could be dealing with the Libra. Once again, we have air signs here. You could be dealing with the Libra, and I'm just getting the sense here that there's definitely there's going to be some sort of shift coming in here. I'm going to go ahead and keep on pulling cards. So what's going on here? Yes, you could be definitely dealing with an earth sign. We have 2 9s here. We have the 9 of Cups. Okay, we have 11, Lust, and the 8 of Pentacles, Prudence. And we have the Knight of Discs at the bottom, which have been wanting to come. He has been wanting to come out. But the way I'm seeing this, the overarching theme of this is a higher calling from Spirit. This is definitely some sort of higher calling that you're being pulled towards. And this is amending, once again, those 3s that came up here. A 33 could be a number to look at. I'm going to go ahead and move these candles out of the way so I can kind of make space for these cards. But I'm not sure if you guys could see these very well, but we pulled the 9 of Cups here, which speaks of wish fulfillment. It speaks of emotional fulfillment. And interestingly enough, we have the 9 of Discs here. It could be that you may be cultivating yourself, and you're actually standing in your own power, and now you're starting to feel really good about yourself. With the 9 of Discs and the 9 of Cups. We do have the lust card here, which is the sign of Leo, and this card is strength in this particular deck. But it's strength using the very primal nature that we all have within. There could have been some shadow work being done by you that is really just elevating you. But it looks like this past situation, perhaps with this Knight of Swords, this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Libra is coming through very strongly here with the adjustment card, Leo as well. But there could have been a falling out with this person, and now there's a time for mending this situation, or there will be a time for you to mend this situation coming up. Within the near future. Time is fluid, so it's very hard for me to put a date on this, but this could be coming up within the near future. And this is being divinely guided by spirit, because this is helping you A, believe in yourself, and B, it's helping you cultivate the mindset of a beginner. It's the student, right? With the Eight of Discs here, this card speaks of working on it, but the way this deck presents it is usually in the Rider-Waite deck. It's a kind of like a boring card of a guy diligently working on his pentacles. But in this case here, I'm just very drawn to the blooming flowers. It's almost like there's been a sense of like you're close to reaping the rewards of whatever work you've been doing. Let's see here. I'm gonna keep on pulling cards here. Yeah, so definitely with the Lust card here, it could be that there was shadow work that was being done. This card wanted to come out earlier, but I kind of ignored it. We have the Temperance card. This is my Divine Guidance card. This is my Divine Intervention card. This could very well be, once again, getting the blending of masculine and feminine energies. We have the Princess of Discs here. So now we have 3 of the princesses here, or 3 of the pages. So this really indicates the pages often speak of children. They also speak of beginner's mindset, right? So there's definitely a need for the last page that needs to come out is the Page of Cups. But there's definitely a need to have a beginner's mindset in pretty much all aspects here. It's maybe what happened was, I'm surprised the Tower hasn't come out. Here we have the Star. So definitely heavy. Okay, so we have the Star, we have Sagittarius. So you could be dealing with a Leo, Sagittarius, Libra, or an Aquarian. So yes, right. So as I was saying, and then bottom of the deck right now, we have Ace of Wands, brand new beginnings, very passionate, fiery. For me, I know the cups can also resemble spirituality, and depending on like the tarot reader, but for me, for whatever reason, the wands really speak to spirituality, because for me it's like the primal nature of fire and change and inspiration, and I feel like spirit works in that realm. It really varies per person, but that's how I read the wand suit. So for me, it does indicate a change in spirituality sometimes, depending on of course how the cards come out. But here we have once again that blending and of masculine and feminine, the fire and the water, and you could see there that she's clearly combining these 2 suits of fire and water together and alchemizing them. And this is very well the energy that you've been coming into, of blending that. And interestingly enough, that's below the 2 of Pentacles. So this was, whatever this was absolutely necessary for your evolution. Through this, there's been a great deal of healing. That's coming through very strongly. It's like you've been, and once again, I'm just seeing the 2s, lots of 2s in this, and the amount of symmetry in some of the artwork here really just gives me that sense of finding internal balance. It's like you've come into a place of internal balance that spirit was trying to get you to in the first place. And that's what the Aeon card here is about. It's like divine judgment. There's a very divine purpose for what you've gone through, whatever this issue was with the crossing of the bridges. with the Princess of Discs here, this could be a business idea. This could be a new beginning. In I mean, this could also indicate some sort of financial gift from somebody. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. I mean, we do have 3 pages here, which really, for me, indicates brand new beginnings, and that really corresponds here with Porcupine Spirit, because it's talking about having the beginner's mindset. The pages are brand new to their journey. They're on their way to becoming, you know, so it goes pages to knights to queens to kings. It's like an evolution of maturity, an evolution of understanding. You know, we become students first and then eventually become the teachers, but even the teachers embody the page, because the art of learning never truly ends, right? And this card in this deck is referred to as art, because yes, there's an art form to creation, right? A creation is a form of art. That's what creativity is all about. Is birthing things into the material realm through your creativity, through the mind, through your soul. Okay, that's really interesting. So yes, this could very well be. Okay, so we had a couple cards here that plopped out, and I'm gonna go ahead and read them in just a moment. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll pull from the bottom. There it is. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, guys. So bottom of the deck, we have Sorrow, or the Three of Swords. This person, this could have been a third-party situation. This could have been somebody that came along that you were possibly interested in, that broke your heart. There may have been a sense of detachment, unemotional, like they may have come across as unemotional. But here's what I'm getting, because was I not talking about the Princess of Cups? This is a brand new beginning in all aspects. This is it's like Spirit wanted you to learn these lessons. They were painful, I'm sure, especially with the Three of Swords. Whoever this was, it could have been, once again, we have the suit of air here with the Knight of Swords. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, Libra, Aquarius, and here we have the Lovers. This could have been a very powerful soulmate connection that you experienced that has been cultivating you. And here we have the Magician. Manifestation, the power of manifestation here. And so this is I believe the mage is please excuse me if I'm incorrect with this, but I know it's Virgo and Gemini, I believe. So Gemini coming through very strongly, Libra coming through very strongly, and Aquarius coming through. So you could have been definitely, this could be an air sign. This could be a reading for air signs. Doesn't necessarily have to be, because we also have Leo and Sagittarius. But anyway, enough about who this may be, but I'm sure this will resonate for whoever stumbles across this reading. But it's like Spirit wanted to cultivate you in a brand new way. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. Basically, the way I'm reading this, and especially corresponding with yesterday, the Healing the Divine Masculine, that card is represented by Osiris, and Osiris had to undergo the process of dismemberment by his brother Set, his the shadow self. And of course, Isis, the feminine, had to be the one that bring in the healing, right? And then eventually, they could not find his phallus, and Isis ended up having to craft a phallus through the power of magic, right? And here we have the blending once again, and that's the perfect blending of the masculine and feminine traits. Now, the feminine, if this is like a twin flame connection or a high level soulmate connection, I dislike using the terms anymore, because they tend to be romanticized. But in order for us to understand ourselves, sometimes we have to put labels on things, right? So this twin flame connection has been, I'm sure, very, very painful for you. if you've gone through this, because we do have the Three of Swords. I'm getting potentially a third party connection. Doesn't necessarily have to be. For some of you, take the message as it resonates, leave whatever does not. But it looks like Spirit was breaking you down, dismembering the self, the ego, so the ego gets stripped away and a new one gets put in place. And this had to happen in order for you to come into alignment with yourself and really start to embody the power of this. Believe in yourself. Once again, heavy with the solar plexus chakra. And all 4 pages have come out in this reading. So time for beginner mind. So there's definitely a need here for you to understand that the reason that this all happened and transpired the way that it did isn't because Spirit is out to get you or anything like that, but rather Spirit was cultivating you this whole time and you just did not know it. And perhaps you weren't seeing that from the perspective that you needed to. And so Spirit is really just coming through here and saying that this was all divinely ordained to prepare you for what was the next step. All right, so this card is the card that came out. Enter the Chamber of Healing, healing in the divine chamber of the Lady Isis. And this is exactly what I was referring to and talking about with the healing process. This is basically the overall arcing message of what's to come and what the spiritual evolution of this whole thing is. And it says enter the chamber of healing. Spirit purposefully puts you in this chamber of healing after a period of being stripped down to the bare bone. You're being rebuilt through the healing process. And for me, I think I was talking about this card yesterday as well with the 9 of happiness, or the 9 of cups, excuse me. Or perhaps it was in another reading. It might have been one of my pick a cards. But the idea here is, I was seeing, you see how this water is just flowing downward? And the way I had interpreted this card when I was referring to Osiris being stripped down and torn apart, this is like the healing force of water, of like the healing waters of source flowing through you and flowing through the wounds of the body that has been torn apart. And what will happen is, through the art of magic here, of source, of combination, alchemizing, transmutation, basically what's happening is those wounds are being healed and sewn back together through this healing process. And this is going to step you into the power of the magician, of being a force to not to be reckoned with. That's not what I'm trying to get at here. It's not, how do I even explain this? It's like you're going to be stepping into a level of pure authenticity that the amount of power coming through here is almost very difficult for me to explain. But it's like you're stepping into, or you're going to be stepping into, this place of being able to manifest so easily, because you went through this period of healing and of being completely stripped down. And with the chamber of healing here, entering the chamber of healing, once again, Lady Isis is coming through in this, or the goddess. This card speaks of things being torn apart and being delivered to you once again, but in a way that you were not expecting them to. So especially now, I'm really being guided to say that this is probably a high-level soulmate, twin flame kind of reading of like the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That's coming through very strongly, especially with the lovers, the amount of primal energy coming through this, and healing. The level of healing coming through here is profound. Like, I can't even begin to explain it. But with the chamber of healing, it basically talks about, like I was saying, something will be presented to you, but not in the way that you expected it to. And it's odd because this card speaks of being in the mode of accepting, right? To allow. This is a word of allow, to have control, but to also not have control, which is weird. It's because it's kind of like, oh, what is that? Like a paradox, right? To be in control, but not in control. It's like exerting just the right amount of control in order for you to influence a situation. Like, for example, I mean, generally speaking, with people, you cannot control people. That is just something you cannot do. And if you try to, well, it's a very toxic behavior to have, which is definitely something that needs to be healed. The the message that I'm trying to convey here, right, is you cannot control people. You can influence people, but you cannot control them, right? Now, what is the idea behind influencing the person? Now, that's a completely different subject. But let's say you have good intentions for somebody. Let's say that you've always had the good intentions for somebody, right? You can't force them to change, no matter how pure your intentions may be. That's just something we cannot do. Everybody's healing is something that's self-directed. You may receive insights from other people, but unless you truly embrace the desire to change, you simply will not. And the spiritual journey is all about that. It's all about embracing the process of healing and realizing, whoa, I need to consistently better myself. And there's no end to that, right? So this card is basically talking about that, and the idea of having control over a situation, but simultaneously having no control over it at all. So if you're in this high level soulmate kind of twin flame connection, the idea here is it's likely that the union that is to come is simultaneously in your control, but also out of your control, right? So if you're mending this situation with your divine counterpart, the idea is here that you do have a level of control over what the outcome may be. If you're coming from a place of hurt, if you're coming from a place of anger, if you're coming up from a place of resentment, well, guess what? You're going to exert that in a very controlling manner and in a destructive manner, right? And this is why you're being asked to cultivate the beginner's mindset. With all four princesses coming out, this is probably for a divine feminine out there who needs to understand that this was a process that you did not understand originally. Perhaps you do not understand why your divine counterpart is behaving a certain way. Well, it was because you both needed to enter the chamber of healing. So through your healing work, you've also been calling in your counterpart with the Lover's card here. And with the Magician, you've been manifesting this. As a matter of fact, you've both been manifesting this, and you've both been healing and blending in the divine masculine and divine feminine parts within you. And this is really just the Two of Pentacles. I'm not reading it as a kind of like, it is a card of balance. The balance is coming through very strongly in this reading, and it's almost like you've cultivated this, and this is the healing waters of Source flowing through you, alchemizing you, transmuting you, and elevating you into the mage, into the creator, co-creation. Now, this card also speaks of allowing time for sacred space. There we go. So the idea here is that Spirit is really encouraging you, and by encouraging you, or like really encouraging you, I'm not going to say forcing you either, but the idea here is they're putting a great deal of emphasis in you spending time in your sacred space. And now, once again, the whole notion of control here, they're asking you to simply sit in your sacred space and say, I'm allowing myself, I allow for the divine to work through me. I'm allowing space for the divine, and simply just being. No control, no, that's all the intention you have to set, is simply just be. And allow whatever comes up to come up. I would probably focus a lot on breath work in this case. The idea is to be as mindful as possible. So if your thoughts come in, accept them, but try to move yourself into a state of mindfulness once again when this happens. And the insights and feelings, emotions that you'll be getting through these meditative practices are going to help you immensely to continue to heal yourself. So this is all divinely orchestrated. Perhaps you may not know why this happened, but this card here just speaks of overall healing. And with the Aeon card here, I'm getting the sense that this is all very, very divinely guided. This is a divinely guided connection that you have with whoever this is. And this heartbreak was definitely, yes, okay, so there was definitely heartbreak with this situation. Somebody may have had too many options with the Seven of Cups here. And I mean, look at how this card speaks of debauchery. The divine masculine sometimes loses himself in other people because he simply has he feels too strongly. He does not like to feel these things because his divine feminine aspects need healing. And so he loses himself in perhaps alcohol, drugs, in sex with multiple partners, that kind of thing. That might be what the options are. But here we had the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords was likely you cutting through and realizing the moment of clarity came through and saying, I need to work on myself. I need to understand that this journey is out of my control. I need to understand, or rather, you came to the understanding that you had no control over the situation and you knew that the divine had to take care of this. And now you're starting to truly step into yourself and becoming coming into union with yourself, because that's where what the twin flame journey is all about, is coming into union for yourself and realizing that the person in your life that really deserves the best, the person who should always be prioritized in this journey, is not your counterpart, it's you. And here we go. Okay, so we have the three of wands. There's a period of waiting for this to come through, and here we have, interestingly enough, the Empress, one of the the divine feminine aspect here of you being in your power and completely just prioritizing on yourself. There's so much beauty that just comes out of this card. It's being self-assured, knowing how to take care of yourself and understanding yourself all over again. There was a period of the Six of Swords here of moving away to heal yourself, and this brought a great deal of transformation with the Death card. You could be dealing with the Scorpio as well, or somebody with a Scorpio in their chart. So you've gone through the transformative process. I'm seeing the transformation coming through very strongly with the Aeon card and the Death card here, and you're moving towards a period of satiety, of happiness, of I just want to, I'm sorry, I got kind of carried away here, but I want you to see the artwork here in the Knight of Cups, right? That's the flowing waters of love, of source. And here, this is the next step. But now we see one cup added, and the waters of source now look like light. So through love and light, you've been healed through source. And this may, oh my goodness, okay, this may come through in a very structured manner for you, but this could be a higher level of commitment coming through that's divinely guided through spirit. Yeah, look at this. Ace of Wands, brand new beginning and passionate love. We have the Wheel of Fortune. This is fated. This is a fated connection, something that's coming through here. The wheel is turning now because you've released. You've decided to let go of control. Look at all these trump cards, or excuse me, the major arcana trump cards. Yeah, they're referred to as trump cards as well. The Moon. Perhaps there was a period of not knowing, of having to follow your intuition, not understanding. These are all from the bottom of the deck, mind you. The Fool here is a brand new beginning. You really just pulling forward and taking a leap of faith in yourself. This is a brand new beginning after a period of change, after a period of not knowing perhaps what to do. There was some fears involved, but it's like you faced those fears, and now you're starting to come through the other side after a very painful cycle with the Ten of Swords. There was an ending here. And interestingly enough, if you look at the Ten of Swords artwork in this particular deck, I'm not sure if you could see that right here where my thumb is at, but that looks like a little heart there, and there's 3 swords there. But those 3 swords are bound to fall out, and the sword in the middle has broken. So this is the ending of a very painful cycle for you, but this is all divinely orchestrated. The only responsibility you have now is simply just focusing on your healing work. That's it. And you're already doing the work that's necessary in order for you to become the highest version of yourself, the best version of yourself. And of course, this is a never-ending cycle, but through this work, you've been calling in your divine counterpart, whether you know it or not. Now, the work of the twin flame connection shouldn't be about drawing in your divine counterpart, of course. It should always be about prioritizing the self. At the end of the day, being in union in the 3D here with your divine counterpart is more about like a bonus, if you will. Like, oh, well, this is nice that this happened, but really, the truth is here there is a need for focusing on the self, not on the counterpart, because when you focus on yourself, you're actually drawing them in. I'm just trying to see if I have any more messages here for you, but that's definitely the main message coming through here is healing. Continue your healing work, go within, spend some time in meditation, be mindful, and just set the intention to say, this is time for communion with the divine, or something along those lines. You know what, let me go ahead and take a look here, because there's an excerpt. This oracle deck is very, very, very powerful, and it comes with a lot of really interesting insights and practices. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt from the book here, Enter the Chamber of Healing. A spiritual gift of healing is coming to you now. Be open without expectation or preconceived notions, and allow the healing from the Lady Isis, Mistress of Magic, to help you find the best solution for any situation that does not appear to be as it should be. Take your time and create space into which her magic and energy can flow now. Expect your miracle. See how beautiful that is? So through this healing process and allowing this to happen, no wonder I'm getting the sense of like, this is kind of what I was referring to. The artwork really was calling me towards saying like, this is the healing love and light of the universe bringing you into balance and healing you. I know these cards don't always, like, the cards don't necessarily speak that way in the literal sense, but I'm reading these cards more intuitively right now. And this is what the beginner's mindset is about. So continue to do whatever it is that you're doing. Just make some more space for the healing work to be done. Allow yourself to commune with the divine. Simply sit down in your sacred space and allow yourself to be, and just set the intention of saying, this is time for me to commune with the divine, and that's it. And then just let whatever it is that needs to happen. Like, let go of the reins. This is part of the beginner's mindset. It's like saying, like, I have no idea what the next step is, so be like the student, be the kindergartner, you know, of life, and say like, okay, well, I don't know why this is going to happen, but this is kind of what I'm being guided to do, so let's see what happens, and just let it be. Maybe there's some clarity that will be coming to you in this meditative state. So that's all I have for you today for this morning message. This was pretty extensive. I wasn't expecting this to go somewhere so deeply, but there's so much major arcana here, and the fact that all pages came out is like, whoa, mind-blowing for me. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please do hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out with delivering this message to more and more people, because I think this is very important work to be done here. So thank you once again. I'm sending you much love and light. Take care, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.